Hi there, in this video I'm going to be reviewing the Neewer F700 Field Monitor. I have done a collaboration with Neewer before, and the kind people over there have sent me the F700 Field Monitor to review. Now, I have got a few other Neewer products that I use all the time. This green screen behind me for one, and I also use a gimbal all the time in a lot of my wildlife videos that is also made by Neewer. Now, I've never used a field monitor before, so it's taken a little bit of getting used to. It's been quite a big learning curve, but what I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to talk you through the specs of this field monitor first of all, and then I'm going to take it out to a nature reserve and give you my opinions on how it performs out in the real world. So stay tuned while I see how this field monitor will help me to enjoy my photography. The primary function of a field monitor is for a videographer to get a larger screen so they can see the output of their camera, but also get lots of information on exposure and focus through histograms and such things as focus peaking. I'm a solo YouTuber, so I'm going to be using this slightly differently. For one, I'm going to be filming myself, so I will see how that helps with that. And I also take stills photographs, so I'm going to be seeing how I can get an advantage using this field monitor while I'm taking photographs of birds and wildlife. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over to an overhead camera so you can see the product in a lot more detail. Let's have a look at everything that you get inside the box. Now, there are three versions of this kit that include everything you see here, but the first version is without any batteries. Then there's one version with one battery, and the version that I've got is with two batteries. Now, it's worth checking what's available at the time, because I have seen the two battery version cheaper than the one battery version, so just have a check of what's available when you're thinking of buying it. Then there is a load of cables included as well, so you've got a full-size HDMI to HDMI, a full-size HDMI to HDMI mini, and then an HDMI full-size to HDMI micro. Then there are three USB-C cables. So one is to plug into the bottom of the field monitor to power the HDMI monitor, and the other two are to recharge the batteries, because on the batteries there is a USB-C port, which is very useful, so you don't need a dedicated charger. Then there is a mount, so you can mount it to the top of your camera. There's a lens cleaning cloth, an Allen key, and some instructions. The monitor itself has a touch screen, which is very useful, but there are some physical buttons. So we've got a power button, there are three assignable function buttons, a back button, a menu button, and then some volume buttons. Underneath there's a headphone jack, there's a power out, and the USB-C power in. There's also a 1/4 inch thread and an SD card that is for uploading LUTs or updates. On one side of the unit there's an HDMI out port, an HDMI in port, and then also a DC 12 volt power supply. Then on the other side of the monitor there's another 1/4 inch thread for mounting the unit. Then finally on the back of the unit there are the two spaces for the batteries and the fan. It's worth having a look at the mounting bracket because it's really high quality. It's all made of metal, and these two tightening nuts have very extended lugs, so you can get loads of tightness on it. There are also holes, so you could insert an Allen key and really give it some extra leverage if you wanted, but it does feel really secure when it's attached to the camera. So it's a 7-inch monitor with a brightness of 2000 nits. The resolution is 1920 by 1080. You can power it using one or two of the MPF batteries, DC power adapter that's not included in this kit, or a USB-C type adapter, and a USB-C cable is provided. As I've mentioned, there is a touch screen, there's also auto brightness adjustment. There are quite a few LUTs already installed, but you can install your own via the SD card. The viewing angle is 178 degrees and a contrast ratio of 1000 to 1. I've put the monitor on top of my camera and I've pointed it at a t-shirt with one of my logos just as a subject so I can talk you through the menu options. Now if we go into the menu, there's lots of exposure assistance that you can get. So depending on what you're used to, you can get a spectrum or an ARRI. Then we've got a zebra pattern, so you can bring in different strengths of the zebra pattern to help you with your exposure. Then we've got a histogram, so you can choose to show brightness or RGB values. And what's nice about the histogram is you can choose which position on the screen it appears. So I'm going to leave it in the bottom right hand corner. There is a waveform, and so if you're using log and some kind of LUT, it's useful to see the waveform, and so there's different functions here, but I'm not really very familiar with that. There's also a vector scope that you can use, which shows the distribution of colour, and you can actually show all of those in one screen as well, if that is what you want to do. In the focus and composition menu, there are lots of options, so you can turn on focus peaking. Now this will be really useful when I'm videoing myself, because if you look on the screen now, if we just take that back to full screen, the focus peaking is here, and if I shift the focus, then the highlighted area also shifts as well, because the t-shirt is at a slight angle, so you can see the areas that are in sharp focus, and you can change the colour of the peaking marks to either green, blue or white depending on your preference. Useful thing to have is a center mark, so I keep this on at all times. There is also safe areas that you can set, so if you're filming video, you can change the safe area just so you know you've got everything within the frame. You can change the aspect ratio. You can also put on grid lines. So at the moment I've got the classic 3x3 grid lines, but you can also have 4x4, 5x5, 6x6, 7x7 or 8x8, and change the colour of those as you see fit. And also at the bottom of this menu we've got audio meters, so you can see whether you're peaking on your audio and how that's responding. Then we've got the LUT configuration. Within the LUTs there are lots of pre-installed LUTs, so you can see here the LUTs that are already installed. Now I don't film in log because my computer just won't cope with the high file sizes, so that is something that you might be interested in, but it's not something that I'm going to use. And as I mentioned earlier, in the LUT menu you can upload a custom LUT through the SD card. Lots of options in the display settings. You can change the aspect ratio. I'm in 16:9 because I'm outputting to YouTube, but you can change that depending on where your output is going to be. You can flip the display either horizontally or vertically, which is going to be useful when I'm filming myself. And you've also got several other options here in the display settings, including how the fan activates. At the moment it's set to auto, but you can turn it on to different strengths, high, medium or low. You can also set the colour temperature, which is very useful because I shoot in auto white balance, and so to make sure that the image on the back of the screen of the camera matches the monitor, you might just need to change the colour temperature, because this colour temperature overrides what is coming from the camera. You can also set the backlight. Now at the moment this is not a problem because I'm shooting indoors and I'm powered using the USB-C cable, but if you're using batteries you might want to save the batteries, or you might be in very high sunlight, so you might want to brighten this up so you can see a little bit better. Very nice function is to be able to assign the functions of the function keys along the top of the camera. At the moment I've just got it set to the histogram, the center mark and the H flip, but depending on what you use your monitor for, you can assign them to all of these things just here. On the screen now is an image that I took out in my hide, and what is really useful is if I zoom in, you can use this for really good pixel peeping. So to make sure that the image is really sharp, it's very useful for that. With the touchscreen, you can increase and decrease the brightness just by moving your finger up and down, and also you can zoom using a pinch motion, so you can go from normal to ×2 to ×4. It's just worth noting that at ×4 zoom, the image you get is not as clear as the image you get if you zoom using the camera. The other thing that's worth noting is there is a little bit of lag going from the live view, which you're seeing now, to the playback, which is in real time, and then if I go back to the live view again, there is more lag while it goes back to the live view. And so if you were taking photographs of wildlife and the action was happening very quickly, that lag could be quite a pain. Well, that's my overview finished, so let's take it out now to a nature reserve so I can give you my opinion on how it functions on a shoot. I've been out at this nature reserve all morning, probably for the best part of about 4 hours, and I've been using the field monitor constantly. Now, I have been turning it off when I've not been using it, and the battery level has barely gone down at all, which I'm really impressed with. I thought I would need to change the battery, but we're still at 80%. Pretty much any time I've stopped to take photographs, I've turned it on to get a feel for what it's like, and I've got to say that I've really enjoyed using it. Now, it is better when the subject is in a known location or is not moving very quickly, because it takes a little bit of time just to acquire the subject. If you were taking opportune photographs, then the field monitor wouldn't really be very good, because you need to use the viewfinder so you can aim the camera in the right location. But once you have acquired the subject, using the field monitor is really good because you can compose a shot, it's bright, and it's just a real joy to use. I've also tried using it with a vlogging camera, and having that larger screen really does help with composing when I'm filming myself, because the small screen on the back of the camera is sometimes very difficult to see when you're a long distance away. The only problem I have found is I find myself looking at the screen rather than the lens, but that's a me problem, not the field monitor's problem. This shot here wouldn't be possible without the field monitor, because with the flip out screen on the back of the vlogging camera, I can't actually see myself at the moment because the lens is in the way, so I wouldn't be able to tell whether I was cutting off my head or my feet. It's only possible because I can see myself and set up the composition on the big field monitor on the top of the camera. After watching this video, if you are interested in getting the Neewer F700 Field Monitor, what I've done is I've put links down below in the description of a couple of places where you can purchase it from. And now, I didn't expect to enjoy using the field monitor as much as I have. Now, it's something that I will keep in the bag for if I'm in a static location such as a hide, or I'm sat down watching a particular area. Taking opportune photographs, maybe I won't use it quite as much, but I have found it really enjoyable. But it certainly helps when you're reviewing photographs as well, because you can see your images in a lot more detail because the screen is so much larger. So I do want to say thank you again to Neewer for sending it to me. Well, if you have enjoyed this video, do let me know down below in the comments, and nip over to my Instagram or Vero account, that's @Oakden Photography. Leave me your comments there, and you can also see lots of my photographs. Now, if you like what I do on the channel and you want to help support me to make future content like this, then you can leave at the gift shop. That's at Teespring. There I've got a range of merchandise on offer, so head off over there, because the purchase really does help me out and it's very much appreciated. But you don't have to spend any money at all to support the channel. You can do that simply by clicking the like, subscribe and the bell notifications. It really helps me out, and it makes sure that you don't miss out on any future content. Watch out for next week's video. That goes live on Sunday. In the meantime, go and check out this video just up here. But all that's left now is to say, stay safe, and I'll see you soon.